Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the MIRADA PLC investor presentation for the full year results ending 31st of March 2020. For your information, throughout this presentation, investors will be in listen-only mode. Questions are encouraged and can be submitted at any time via the Q&A tab situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. The company may not be in a position to answer every question it receives during the meeting itself. However, the company will review all questions submitted today and publish responses where it's appropriate to do so. These will be available on your Investor Meet Company dashboard. Before we begin, we'd like to submit the following poll. And finally, I'd like to remind you that this presentation is being recorded. I'd now like to hand over to Jose and Gonzalo from MIRADA. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for attending the presentation. It's quite a special day for us, the presentation of our annual results after what we would call a very good year and continuing a trend that we started a few years ago. So we are happy to share with you our thoughts and our numbers. Hopefully you will have had the time to take a look at our results that we were announcing first thing today. In any case, we will be going into them now. And please feel free to make any questions you want on the chat room, and we will try to answer as many as possible. So going to the next slide, obviously the disclaimer. Let me introduce myself. I'm Jose Luis, for those of you that don't know me. I'm one of the founders of the company, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer. I have an engineering background and a financial background, and I happen to be also the chairman of the Spanish Association for Interactive TV, that is the one standardizing the TV interaction in Spain. I have been running this company for a long time now. Initially, this company was more focused on professional services, and now, from some years to now, it's a product company, as we will cover later. Let me also introduce Gonzalo Babillo. Gonzalo has been with us in the team for 5 years now. Gonzalo is an old friend of ours. He actually was a mate of myself during the MBA we did together about 15 years ago. He was at that time head of finance at Electronic Arts, and he moved into Disney. He had been working for Disney for 10 years before joining MIRADA, and he has been in MIRADA since 2015. He's also a director of the company. So just a quick introduction of what we do. We are a software company. This is important. We don't sell any hardware. We don't sell any physical goods. We sell things that travel very well across the world. And we are a leading provider of what we do worldwide. So the kind of customers we have are pay TV customers. When I say pay TV, is anyone providing audiovisual services now. So it can be from the traditional digital TV or cable TV to over-the-top providers. So ranging from names like Sky in the UK or Telefonica to names like Disney or Netflix in terms of the kind of customers we already have. Okay, we have been working in this business for 20 years. Actually, we turned 20 years in May during the lockdown. And we know most of the partners in this business. We have been working with most of them. And as I said before, we are a product-focused company. So we developed our own technology that provides audiovisual interaction services for our customers, for them to have subscribers. And we have been doing this for a long time. So this is a range of the customers we have been working with or we work with. In the top line, you have the most important ones at the moment. These are the ones using our current cutting-edge technology, what we call Iris. We will have a time later on to take a look at our technology and how this works. So you can see some names that you are probably familiar with, like Sky in the UK or ITV or the BBC. Easy is our largest customer in Mexico. ATN, a Nasdaq-based company in the United States, or SkyTel in Mongolia. So we work worldwide. So in terms of the financial highlights, I will let Gonzalo make an introduction to them.
Good morning. As Jose has explained, this has been a very good year for us. It has confirmed a growing trend in the last 4 years, as you may see here, with a 16% CAGR. And if we take a closer look to fiscal year 20, this also confirms this double-digit growth. First of all, we have to disclose that we sold Mirada Connect, a non-core division of our company, in July 19. Mirada Connect has contributed with $0.2 million to the revenues this year, comparing with $0.8 million last year. So if we exclude that effect, the underlying growth is 13% versus prior year. Very healthy indeed. If we take a deeper view to these figures by customer, our main customer, EC Telecom, has had similar figures to prior year, in excess of $9 million. And all the growth is coming not from EC Telecom, but from Skytel, our first customer in Asia that we signed in December 18. It comes from AT&I, the customer based in Atlanta with networks in the Caribbean. And it comes from PMO, that is the new customer we won in September 19. So it's very healthy that the growth comes from other customers apart of EC Telecom. Okay, in the next slide, we are going to take another view of our revenues, not by customer, but by activity. We may see a significant growth in professional services from $6.5 to $8 million. There are two drivers for this growth. The first one is Android TV, custom launcher. We have developed this for EC Telecom. Previously, all our set-top boxes were running on Linux technology. Currently, we have developed the same technology under Android TV and deployed it for EC Telecom. And this has been one of the main drivers. The second driver is the integration of premium content technologies, premium content providers, such as Netflix. We are currently working on other premium content providers to come in the next years. Additionally, our managed services have grown. This is mainly support and maintenance services for the new customers that we have rolled out. And what about EBITDA? Well, the same story, very healthy improvement from $0.8 million prior year to $2.5 in fiscal year 20. On top of that is the $1.7 million gain of the divestment of Mirada Connect. And the $1.7 million increase in EBITDA is coming from three drivers. First of all, we closed the office we had in Exeter, what has meant significant savings. Secondly, we have had projects with higher sales margins. We mentioned before the integration of premium providers. Obviously, when we negotiate with our customers, they are eager to include in their offer the premium content providers such as Netflix, Amazon Prime. And when you negotiate with the customers, it's easier to get higher margins. And finally, also we have increased the product development for Android TV, which has also improved the EBITDA. Okay. Net debt is really flat in fiscal year 20. It had a slight increase for 4.9 to 5.0. But more interesting, I think, is maybe in the next slide that our cash and credit facilities have significantly improved. The improvement again comes from three drivers. Operational cash flows have grown from minus 1.2 to a positive 1.8 in fiscal year 20. Secondly, we negotiated an extension of the 1.3 million loan with the main shareholder. Only 1.1 million euros out of the 1.3 are currently used, and we negotiated the extension until November of 2021 of this loan. And third, after the closing, we negotiated with different banks loans in amount of 1.64 million euros. I say euros because they are denominated in euros. All of them are with Spanish banks. They are unsecured at 6 years term and with a very low interest rate, around 2%. So with these three items, we consider that the cash position of the company has significantly strengthened comparing with the past. And I think now we are moving to the operational highlights.
Thank you, Gonzalo. I see that we have some questions coming now through the Q&A. We will try to answer all of them at the end of the meeting. However, as I'm actually looking at them, I will try to start giving you some hints about them. So on the operational highlights, I would say that the four more important elements to disclose or to talk about this year are these ones. The first one is very important, is the integration of premium content providers. So as you have seen and you are probably experiencing at home, there has been a huge improvement of the audiovisual service provision worldwide through the appearance of new players. This actually is very disruptive for the market and helps us positioning, because you need more and more a platform technology that is able to aggregate the different sources of content. So we have been working with different content providers to make our platform more and more appealing for our customers. The second is that you don't only use now a set-top box or a TV, you have a plethora of different devices where you can play with your content, and you have a high expectation of your movie or your series being able to be played in your iPad or your iPhone or your TV or the web, and having a very seamless experience. Okay. The third element in our market has been a transition from the Linux-based boxes, the legacy set-top boxes, to Google technology. So not many players have been able to do this transition quickly. It's a complex one, and we have been quite lucky because now we have an Android TV proposition for our customers, and we have been working very closely with the key players, as we will tell you a bit later. And the other one is that the old legacy technologies were satellite cable. Now you can have your content coming through different elements. You can have a dongle on your TV. You can have the internet without a dedicated network to transmit your content, what we call OTT. And we are network agnostic in this sense. So it's a big improvement, and this is what our customers are looking for now. So if we talk about premium content providers, this year we announced the integration with Netflix. The big players in this market. There are many, but are in this screen. So now most of our customers are actually using Netflix in our service. So you have two options. You have the option to have a direct subscription with Netflix and pay the subscription, and then jumping across different services and looking for the movie on Netflix or on your traditional pay TV service or your website or whatever, and having this bad experience, different search engines, etc. Or you can have a unified search tool. This is what we provide, and we launched this with Easy, our main customer in Mexico, late last year, and the improvement in the experience and the numbers that they are having through Netflix consumption are quite encouraging. So we already integrated during the previous years Fox and HBO, apart from others, local ones like Blim, and we are working with other key content providers, and we hopefully will be announcing our integrations as they come live with real customers. So in terms of our product, we are working on several technologies, but first of all, I would like you to watch a small video that we prepared that will give you a better idea of how our technology works. Okay, so if any of you experience some kind of bandwidth issues or whatever problems you could have, there is no problem. You can also watch this video on the product in our website, mirada.tv. So I hope this is okay. So in terms of the technologies we work on, we started a long time ago in the old legacy set-top boxes technology, and we rapidly moved to other devices like the web, like iPhone, Android, and the related tablets. And our technology is also working now on smart TVs, is working on game consoles like Xbox, and even stick devices like Chromecast or Roku that are very popular in markets like United States. So I will give you some highlights about how our customers are progressing. Starting with Mexico, our main customer is Easy Telecom, that is the largest Hispanic content provider in the world. We have been working with them very closely for the development of the new generation platform. What does it mean? Basically, they are transitioning from the Linux technology to Android technology. Replying one of the questions that are in the list from David in this case, why would an operator want to launch our technology, our custom launcher, instead of using pure Android TV technology? Well, the most important reason is that they have a unified experience, not only from the point of view of the branding, but from the point of view of the search and recommendation tools. They own the customer experience. They are not giving away the customer experience to someone like Google. They are you wouldn't identify that this is a Google box. You identify that this is your box. In this case, would be an Easy box, which is Easy, the Android TV customer. And you have one search tool that comprises all your content. Apart from that, obviously, you have the Google Play application store in which you can download other services, but you can have a ban list, a list in which you can disallow some services to be downloaded in your box. So it's much more powerful than having just an Android TV technology. In terms of analytics, this is much more powerful. You are not in Google experience, you are in your own experience, and you can control how people are navigating through the application. So you know how much time a user has been browsing on a specific type of content, or you can change your content depending on the kind of user you are facing. So you don't need to have the same user experience for all of your subscribers. You can have a specific user experience for a sports lover or for a family with kids. Okay, we have done other very important things for this customer this year, allowing promotions and allowing actually advertising. This is our first attempt with Iris into the advertising market, and this is a very promising one because we expect that the transition from the traditional linear TV world, including the advertising budget of the traditional linear TV, to this new world of multiplayer and always-on consumption is going to be very important in terms of advertising budgets. So we hope to be also in this market. So we continued growing, very healthy growth in Easy. Now in March we had more than 2.8 million set-top boxes installed. The customer has roughly 4.5 million households. In every household you have an average of about 2 set-top boxes. So our revenues from Easy are coming from the set-top box licenses. So we still have a lot of room for growth in terms of license revenues in this customer, from 2.8 million set-top boxes deployed to more than 8 million set-top boxes they have. And in terms of OTT, when I mean OTT, I'm referring to applications in your companion devices, in tablets, in your web browser, in your iPhone or Android phone. We have more than 1 million households now with our technology. In terms of new customers, apart from Easy, with ATN International, ATN is the owner of several properties, cable properties, IPTV properties in the United States and in the Caribbean. We started working last year with Bermuda. Most of the households in Bermuda now are using our technology. We have several services now in place in the customer, and we are just about to launch the second country, in this case, the US Virgin Islands. And we are doing user acceptance tests at the moment. That sounds very promising. In terms of SkyTel, this is our first customer in Asia for the Iris technology in Mongolia. This also demonstrates how well our software travels across the world. We don't need to have big premises in any of the countries in which we deploy our services. They were expecting only 10,000 customers for the first year of operation. They started in July last year, and we have more than 280,000 subscribers at the moment. So my understanding is that It has a very compelling content. It has a unique user experience that was never seen this way in the country. And our application is now number one in both the Apple Store and the Android Google Play Store. This is quite impressive when you are competing with other applications like Netflix, Facebook, Messenger, name it. Okay, so if you go to the Google Store or to the Apple Store in mobile phones in Mongolia, we are number one. This is because of the number of downloads, this is because of the content, and this is because of the user experience. We believe that this is quite important. And in terms of our latest announcement, SAPI, in summer last year, we announced that we won our first customer for Iris in Western Europe. SAPI is the brand name for the service of a company called PMO, that is our customer. This is an aggregation of several small players, or not so small players in Spain. We are just about to launch the OTT service, and after that, and very soon, later than the OTT services, we will be launching the Android TV service also in Spain. There is a lot of expectation in the country. We are in field trials also for the service, and it's looking quite good. Okay, and about Bolivia, we have a small customer, Digital TV Edmond in Bolivia. They launched commercially in April last year. We are doing certifications now of the smart TV and Roku devices. Bolivia, that is a small customer, and they are having some technical difficulties. COVID is not helping in this specific country. In any case, this is not relevant in terms of cash flows. They are growing, they are progressing on the technical trials, and we hope that they will be on track soon. About COVID, now we are mentioning, well, for us it had a quite minimal effect actually. We are a software company, so for us it was very easy at the beginning of March, before the state of alarm was imposed in Spain. We were moving our resources for remote working at home. We actually had remote working practices already in place for the last few years. This is very common in the software market. So for us, it was absolutely straightforward. In a day, we had everyone working from home, not only in Spain, but in the UK, in the Philippines, in Mexico, or in Chile. We continue working from home. We expect to continue this way at least until the end of September. And we will closely monitor how things are going in our respective countries in which we have employees. Health is absolutely the priority, the health of our employees, but we never had, or we have not seen any operational impacts. Our customers are having actually a huge increase in the consumption of their services. We will take a look now on how we have seen the services increasing in these countries, and we have seen actually an accelerated demand in the request of our services during this first half of the year, because they needed us to support their initiatives to be able to cope with this increase in traffic and this increase in the customers' demand. So we are busier than ever, and we hope to continue this way. In terms of what we have seen, well, usually you don't see more than 2-3% perhaps of linear consumption variation in a short period of time in customers. So with the lockdown, what we saw was almost a 25% increase in the minutes being consumed in a household. And in terms of specific channels, news channels or premium channels, especially when there were promotions, had the biggest part of the increase. In the case of news, more than 80% increase in the consumption of the channels. So if we go to video on demand consumption, it's not linear, but on demand, it was actually higher than that. So in the case of in an aggregate way, it was more than 40% increase in the consumption of series and movies in video on demand. When we go to children content, the rise was actually over 50%. And we all know why. Basically, kids have nothing to do more than watching audiovisual content or playing during this time. So during the lockdown, we saw that. What is more important, if you see the trend, we started the lockdown in mid-March, but after some of the measures were relaxed and people were able to go back to the new normal life, we still saw an increased consumption of video on demand. So some people discovered new services during this period. So as a summary, and I would like to share with you our views on how we feel we are. We believe that we have a very healthy financial position, a very improved financial position. This is the result of the huge investment that we have been doing during the last years, and we believe that we have a very good product, and this allowed us to have recurrent revenues. We will talk about that in the Q&A. There are a few questions related to that. We have been integrating new content providers that make our product much more appealing, and we have been able to deploy what the market is more demanding now in terms of technology, that is the Android TV custom launcher. In terms of Android TV, when at the right moment, we will be able to tell more about what we have been doing, but Android TV is the flagship product for Google in the TV market. And we are one of the main partners working with Google at the moment, especially for launches in the Americas. So we are quite confident that this will serve as a big reference for us in the future. In terms of contract wins, the most important one that we announced was this contract in Spain. This has the potential to be a very large deployment. It depends on how successful the service is. We have some other references of successful deployments in other countries. Hopefully, in our home base, in this case, where most of our employees are working now, that is in Spain, we will have also a success. And in terms of new opportunities, well, we have very good references in the market. We have Android TV, we have the premium content providers, so the pipeline is healthier than ever. And we are working in several initiatives. We expect that with some relaxation of the lockdown, we will be able to travel to some of customer premises. We are obviously making our presentations like every other competitor online of our products, and hopefully we will be able to announce new deals as soon as possible. So I believe that now it's time for the Q&A. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you, Jose, and thank you, Gonzalo, for updating investors today. Thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, please do continue to submit your questions using the Q&A tab situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. But just while the company take a few moments to review those investor questions submitted today, I'd like to remind you that a copy of the presentation, along with the slides and the published Q&A, will be available via your Investor Meet company dashboard. Lastly, before I hand back to the guys from MIRADA, I'd like to remind you that your feedback is important to the company. Immediately after the presentation has ended, you'll be redirected for the opportunity to provide feedback in order that the company can better understand your views and expectations. Jose, Gonzalo, obviously I haven't given you an awful lot of time perhaps to look at the questions that have come in the meeting itself. Obviously, if I could ask you just to read out the questions and then perhaps give your responses, I think that would be very much appreciated. Over to you guys. Thank you.
Okay, so we will start with the first question from Nick. How much of your revenue is recurring or contracted? Actually, it's a big part of our revenue that is contracted. So we have a very high level of visibility of revenue for the year we are in, and actually for following years, because we sign long-term contracts with our customers. For those in which we have software as a service model, these are usually 3, 5, or 6 years contracts in which there is a ramp up, and there are minimum revenues guaranteed in terms of support and maintenance, and in terms of licenses. This is the case, for example, with ATN. It is the case with Digital in Bolivia. And in the case of other customers, you depend also on the growth of the customers, the number of subscribers that are going to use your licenses, running on support and maintenance contracts. So the figure is quite relevant. So the only thing I can tell you is that even if we don't have new customers, for example, this year, we would still have a very high level of revenues from the ongoing customers. Jake made a question, congrats on your continued growth. Thank you very much, Jake. Do you see any opportunity for growth through acquisitions? We don't discard growth through acquisitions. M&A is always in the radar. Obviously, the share price level we have today would like to have a higher share price to accommodate a better proposition. But we are always open to suggestions for small or big acquisitions. So we are open and always looking for technology acquisitions usually. David made a question that we solved before. That is, why does an operator need to have Iris custom launcher if they already are using Android TV? What does Mirada bring? And I would like to go a bit deeper into that. We bring aggregation of content from different content sources like Netflix, say Disney, or say Fox, or HBO. So we provide a unified search tool, recommendation tool, the ability to analyze content consumption, the ability to recommend content consumption under a unique user experience that not only runs on the Android TV box, but will run on your iPhone or will run on your Sony or Samsung or LG Smart TV. So it's a cross-platform technology that accommodates all these functionalities. You are not just working on a box. That is very important. A question from Abby. Why do you think your offering was adopted by 280,000 subscribers for Iris in SkyTel versus expected 10,000? I already replied to this one. This is we believe this is because we have a superior technology and this was not seen before in the country. Nick made a very good question. Do you share in the advertising revenue if you bring that in, and what is the model? Advertising is a very new market in this business. Usually you share advertising revenue between the different players in the chain, in the service provision chain. And we hope that if this grows, we will be able to have some kind of proposition in which we share part of the advertising revenue. This is our intention. This doesn't mean that we are sharing any advertising revenue at the moment. This is quite novel, as I said. But hopefully this can become one of the elements in our proposition. Another question, in this case from Gavin, what are the broker estimates for this fiscal year? What is the key one you are looking at? We stopped our forecast for this year when we had COVID-19 appearing, because we are just waiting just after the summertime to see how the new service that we are deploying in a couple of our customers is growing. The biggest uncertainty that we have is how will the COVID effect impact our customer subscribers acquisition power. So we know that the customer appetite for our content and our product is growing. We know that the activity is growing, but we really don't know what will be the medium or long-term effect on our customer subscribers growth. So we are just waiting to see in a couple of months' time how the evolution is, and we hopefully will be able to restore our forecast with this visibility. Said that, the visibility we have on revenues is quite important. It's the growth what could be impacted if there are really bad news coming from customers that didn't come yet. So hopefully we will be able to give you a new forecast in a few weeks' time.
Thank you, Jose. I think You've done a fantastic job. I think you've addressed every question, I guess, that has come in that we obviously you're in the position to obviously respond to. Thank you, Jose and Gonzalo. I don't know whether you just want to wrap up perhaps, and then what I'd like to do is then just divert everybody for the ability to provide you feedback, which I know is incredibly important to you guys.
Yes, I would like again to thank you very much for attending the presentation today. It's a very special occasion for us. It's one of the moments in which you are able to show your shareholders, your stakeholders, what you are doing. I believe that it has been a very good year for us. I believe that we have plenty of opportunities ahead of us. We are working very much on that, and well, please feel free to contact us if you have any further questions.
Thank you. Thank you once again, and thank you for updating investors as part of your results roadshow. That's given the implications, I guess, of COVID-19, enabling investors to come to a more informed decision. Thank you for that. Could I ask investors please not to close the session, as you'll now be automatically redirected for the opportunity to provide feedback. If you access this meeting from our website, your feedback page will automatically appear. But if you accessed it via the link in the email, could we just simply ask you to log back in? You'll be taken to the login page, and it's just a few clicks to provide Jose and the team your views and expectations. On behalf of Mirada and Investor Meet Company, I'd like to thank you for attending today's presentation. That now concludes the session. You'll be redirected for feedback shortly. Thank you.